Hello everyone, nice to have you here. Morning Lynn, morning Vicky, morning Julie. Oh, lots of people. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Hello Savannah. How are you all doing? How are you today? You all right? I'm going to attempt to move my screen so that I can actually see the big writing and try and do it without moving that thing. Oh, no, impossible. This is the bane of my life. Did it. Anyway, nice to see everyone. How are you all today? Hello. How's everyone's week been? Are you all right? I'm hoping that you're all right. Nice to see you, Heather. Welcome. Thank you for liking the live. That's a good start, isn't it? Oh gosh, Lynn, you're tired. Oh, I feel for you. I'm sorry about that. How's your week been? Is it just like tired, generally tired, one of those things, or what's been going on? You don't have to tell me. That's a bit private, isn't it? I've gone straight into private stuff. But it's really nice to see you. Really nice. How's your week been, Heather? Have you been okay? I hope you've had a decent week this week. I've had a bit of a nightmare because poor old Hazel is poorly. So my big plan on doing my big interview about the app has gone completely out of the window. So it just does today, which is very lovely, isn't it? It's all right. It's all right. Let's see. Okay. So Vicky, you just finished EMDR therapy. Feel it's a bit sick, but okay. And Lynn, it's your fibro and fatigue. Oh gosh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I suppose it's one of those things that is your life, isn't it, Lynn, at the moment? Hopefully this next hour will be an hour of something a bit more relaxing. I'm glad, Vicky, you had the EMDR. It's interesting that you feel a bit sick, but hopefully it will have made a bit of a difference, so that's good. Elizabeth Malmros, it's so lovely to see you. Elizabeth says, hello, very tired too, but laundry day. I'm sorry I can't be here for long. That's all right, Elizabeth. Just come for as long as you can be here. You're so good the way you do your laundry. I'm rubbish. I have to say, my husband does all of that. I've gradually, okay, don't tell anyone. I've gradually allowed him to take over most of the housework and laundry and stuff like that. He's very, very kind. And sorry, Elizabeth, I'm saying that, and I know that your hubby has been so poorly, so that's a bit insensitive of me. I apologise for that. But yeah, I hope that you can perhaps watch it on the YouTube when you get a moment. So you take care of yourself. Don't work too hard, Elizabeth. Let's have a look here. So Heather, my week's been okay, not too bad, just taking each day at a time. I think that's all that any of us can do, isn't it? It's just taking it easy, being kind to ourselves in the best way that we can, having the best day we can manage, the best hour we can manage, the best moment we can manage. That's all we can do. So well done for doing that, Heather. Alex B, hello, nice to see you. Excellent, I'm glad that you're here. Ali, hello, it's very lovely to see you. Welcome, I hope you've had a good week. How's your week been? I hope it's been a good week. So Heather's saying to Vicky that hopefully the EMDR has been beneficial. EMDR is a really great therapy, and I think I've said before that I do what's a development of EMDR. It's called AMDR. And I use it a huge amount of time with my clients, and it's really helpful, can really reframe things at a really deep structure level. So I hope that as time goes on that really works well for you. Let's have a look. Okay, so Vicky, so you were saying that you were sick before you went into the session. So yeah, that's that might have had something to do with it. It might just be nothing to do with the EMDR at all, might be something else. So let's have a look. Oh, that flew by. Isn't it annoying when the comments go flying by? I saw one here. So, Ella. Ella said, "This is my first time on your live. You're so sweet." Oh, thank you, Ella. That's really nice. Welcome. It's really nice to have you here. It's not what we planned. I'm Sarah, and the plan was that we were going to do this live. My friend Hazel was going to come on. We were going to do this big chat about Betwixt, the app, which is an amazing mental health wellbeing app. But poor thing, she messaged me yesterday and she said, "Oh, I'm absolutely feeling terrible. And I said, "Well, let's see how you're feeling in the morning." And she messaged me this morning and she said, "No, I'm absolutely on the floor. The whole household is." So we've decided, you want to have her at her best, don't you? Last thing you want is someone who's, can barely hold their head up because they're feeling so grim. So we'll do it another time. But I'm really glad that you're here. My apologies if that's what you were expecting. But if you have not heard of the app Betwixt, then do go and have a little look at it. Download it. Give it a go. It might be your cup of tea. It might not be. But it's an interesting app. It's very different to other apps. If you like gaming, if you like stories, it's that sort of thing. You kind of in this imaginary world and you get to make choices about where you go next, what you do, that kind of thing. It's quite cool. So have a little look. So Alice, hello Alice, nice to have you here. I have autism and server anxiety. I'm going on holiday. Is it social anxiety you mean? I've not heard of server anxiety, so I'm guessing it may be social anxiety. I'm going on holiday soon, but I'm so scared. Eating out scares me. Okay, so it's a really good point that you've raised there, Alice, and I think a lot of people have that feeling. So I'm going to make a note of it so I don't forget. Eating out on holiday. Okay, I'm going to make a note of that. Let me just introduce myself because I'm sort of waffling on whilst people join us. My name's Sarah and I'm a QCH therapist. That stands for Christ Cognitive Hypnotherapy. And this is a framework of talking therapy that draws on lots of different modalities. We look at aspects of positive psychology. We use neuro-linguistic programming, which sounds scary, but really it's just thinking about how your brain individually looks at your world. Do you look at things in a very visual way, in an auditory way, in a kinesthetic way? The feelings that you have in your body, if they were to be imagined as shapes and colours and textures, what would that be like? So we use that. We also use aspects of CBT. We don't use lots of CBT, but the odd technique here and there. So we draw from all sorts of modalities because we look at our clients as being the people that really matter. We look at you as individuals and we want to help you to feel better, but also give you practical skills so that you can go off into the world, live your life, and even when life throws things at you, you have a toolkit to be able to deal with it. So that's what I do. And every week at 12 on a Friday, I do a live on TikTok here. I'm thinking of starting to do them on Instagram. So let me know what you think about that, because that would mean that I could talk to more people. Because at the moment, you can't do a live unless you've got 1,000 followers. And there's lots of people who are really interesting, but they don't have that many followers. And so I was thinking, well, maybe Instagram's the way forward, that I could do some on Instagram as well. I'm not going to stop doing them here. But yeah, so I am joined by a fantastic team of moderators. So my moderators are Lynn 250, Vicky Hodson and Jasmine and Julie Rees-Deaver. And they are people who have got lots of life experience. They're not trained therapists, but they've been through lots themselves and they keep this a really lovely, safe space. And I'm forever grateful that they are here. And so if you have questions, practical housekeeping questions, quite often you'll see that they will answer you, and so I'm really grateful for that. They're not here to sort of give therapy advice as such, but there's lots of things that they can be helpful with, and they're just very lovely, kind people. So thank you very much to all of you for helping me. We're getting close to 2 years being on TikTok doing this. I cannot believe I say that and I can't believe it, but yeah. So I'm going to look through, if you've got any thoughts, any questions. I can't answer them all. I do my best. I keep scrolling and I try and sort of answer questions and say hello to people, but obviously they come through quite quickly. Like I can see there's, I don't know, my eyes are terrible, there's a few messages I've not seen. So if I don't see yours, it's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just that they come through fast and thick sometimes. Elizabeth says you're in a different place today, but lovely as always. So there's a story about this. So this is terrible. Okay, so normally I work downstairs in my house, and this room is actually my son's bedroom. And my son doesn't live here anymore. He lives with his girlfriend. I said to him the other day, how do you feel about me setting up your room as my office? You know, obviously it's always going to be your room, and but it would just be really so much more comfortable and helpful for me if I could have this as my office. And he said no. He said no, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I really respected his choice, and I said, that's okay, it's your room, I respect that. And then something came over me, and I might have made a mistake here, because I really hope he's not going to be angry with me, but I just thought, if I just sit here in this little place and do my work so it's nice and quiet, and I'll do my lives from here, and then he's coming home this weekend to you know, to visit, to stay, so I will take all my stuff out so it's his room again. So I'm gonna have to face his wrath. What do you think? If I was your mum and I did that, is that a terrible thing to do? Because I do feel really guilty. I feel a bit bad that I've done that, because he did say no, but then I thought, actually this is my house and it's a spare room at the moment, and you know, you're not living here, so eek. I don't know. So this is where I am. So this is what I've done. Am I a terrible person? Please let me know. Now another thing that is really helpful for us is, so there's a few things, sort of housekeeping things, that if you tap the screen, then that sends little love hearts and likes, and that means that the algorithm on TikTok sees that this is a popular live, that people are enjoying it, and so it sends it to more people, so more people can come, and hopefully we get to help more people. All the stuff that I do on here and all my social media is completely free, so you know, but what I want is to help as many people as possible. So if you are happy just to tap the screen a little bit, then that sends likes. Also, if you follow me, if you would like to follow me, then that would be marvellous. Thank you very much. But also if you share, so you can press the little arrow and share it to people. So there's a few ways. You can either share it to, you know, tap on particular people's TikTok accounts so that they'll get a notification, or you can share it on WhatsApp, or you can just copy the link and that still counts as a share. And again, that sends the message to the algorithm that maybe this is something that would be helpful for more people to see, so it pushes it out to more people, and that's what I want really. It doesn't cost you anything, but I'd be really grateful if you can do that. So thank you for all of that. What else was I going to say? Oh yes, so if you're just dipping in and out, is obviously most people do that. I mean, I'm really grateful for those of you who stayed the whole hour. Wow, you have stamina. But if you're dipping in and out, if you're at work and you're having a little sneaky look at TikTok, then you can always look at it. If you look here on this little purple thing up here, you can see that I've got a YouTube channel, Sarah Eris Therapy, and so you can always go and have a look there. At some point over the weekend, I'll post it on TikTok, on YouTube, so you can watch it in your own time. There's loads of my lives on there, and you can just look at it, you know, settle down with a cup of coffee and a slice of cake, do it in your own time. So don't feel that you're obliged to sit here watching it and that you're going to lose out if you can't sit here the whole time. Anyway, I'll stop waffling and I'll get on with some questions. So I've got Alice's question already. So Alice, I haven't forgotten you. I will answer that. Tara. So Tara's asking a question. What would you suggest for dealing with the grief of losing a parent you never got to meet? That's such an interesting question, Tara. Let me just make a note of it. Because I think grief, I'm just writing that down. Grief is a tricky one, isn't it? And we feel grief over lots of things, and it doesn't have to be just grief over losing a person that we've known and loved. It can be grief over the loss of an animal that we've loved. It can be the grief of losing the potential life that we thought we were going to have. So that's a really good and interesting question. So we'll definitely answer that. If you haven't got time to listen around for the answer, don't forget it's on the YouTube. So when I answer people's questions, I don't necessarily say I don't write them down, the names of the person on the YouTube, but I do talk about the theme of their question. So yeah, so you know, just working my way through some of these. Thank you ever so much for being here and for dropping comments here. Kira Brown, I just wanted to say thank you for doing this. It's an essential life-saving service, especially after Sinead. Do you know what? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I wasn't that desperately sad about Sinead O'Connor. I feel very, very sad seeing what she's been through and that she took that route, really. But I appreciate you saying that's very kind. So Joanne Chelsea Tink is saying, tips for dealing with medication withdrawal, just halved my antidepressant dose. I'm afraid I'm not medically trained, so I wouldn't be the right person to be answering questions on that. So I would suggest that you go and see your doctor and really ask your doctor or your medical team about that. They are the ones that will be able to give you the help, and that might not feel easy for you, but it's definitely the way to go, because anything to do with your meds is you need to talk to the person that prescribed them to you. So I hope that's helpful. Let's have a little look. I don't want to miss out on people's comments, so I'm just scrolling back through. So, good, there's some comments about the room that I'm using. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see. Okay. Oh gosh, there's so many comments. Okay. So there's a few comments here about me using this room. Amber says I would go mad. That's just me though. Amber, I'm a little bit afraid that my son's going to go mad, because I think that if I was going to use it, I know that the right thing to do was I should have messaged him and said, listen, I know that you didn't want me to use it, but I'm going to use it. And I hope that that's okay, and I should have given him my reasons. So I totally understand that you'd go mad. It's something I'm going to have to talk to him about. So if you never see me in this room again, you'll know, won't you? And I can't read your name. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. BBSec said, don't feel guilty. You're the mother. I am the mother, yeah. But I think we still feel guilty. So Sarah is saying, how can I stop being jealous when my partner chats to other women? It's affecting us. Okay. So talking about jealousy when partner talks to other women. Okay, I shall come back to that. I will definitely answer. That's a good question. Let's have a look. Julie says that you think that my son will understand. I hope so. He's a really lovely young man and he doesn't live here anymore, so I hope he understands. Andrew says, kids are cheeky. They move out but want to keep their bedrooms forever. Yeah, and it is his bedroom forever. Like if I was to turn the camera around, which I'm not going to do because it's his private space, you can totally see he's got all of his pictures, all of his bed, everything is his. The only bit I've changed is this little bit behind me because I've put some of my books and my candle there. You see, oh, I don't know if you can see that. I put a nice candle up there. Let's have a look. And Ali says, or if he likes his space, I'll let him keep it. Yeah. So it's a thing, because it's always his space, always his. Like, he's got all these beautiful houseplants, but I'm looking after his houseplants. Like, I'm here looking after and wiping the leaves and feeding them and all of that. So and Grace says, definitely not terrible. Christy thinks I'm not a terrible person. There's not a bad bone in my body. Oh, thank you ever so much. I think he'll understand. Let's have a look. Lynn says, not at all, it's your house, my lovely. Once they leave, you can do what you want with it. You're my girl, Lynn. And Jill B says, I completely agree with you. It's an unused room most of the time. And so, oh, what's that say? My glasses are so dirty. Sopho, no, you haven't done anything wrong. I moved out and my sister took my room. They needed the space. Thank you. That's really nice of you. Lynn says, I've got plans for my boys' rooms when they move out. I need the space. And Soph Olivia says there's no point in a room sitting empty. Yes, exactly. And it's so nice because I can have the window open and it's, yeah. Okay, all right, I'm going to stop talking about me. Let's have a look. I appreciate all your kindness, but I really appreciate also your honesty. So those of you who said that you'd go mad, I totally appreciate that. I'll let you know what happens. Okay, so, who's that? Anissa, my favourite page, incredibly useful. Oh my God, that's so nice of you. Thank you. So Angel Kate says, does your son come home often? Well, he comes home like maybe every couple of weeks or something, just to stay a night, maybe. Like if he goes to have his hair cut or have football training or something. So, yeah, so I think for me, I promise, I totally return it to how it is. Like, I put all of his books back up behind me and take my books away. So anyway, I'm letting you know what his reaction is. I'm just cleaning my glasses because it looks like they've been dropped in a deep fat fryer. They're absolutely disgusting. So anyway, Kat, I'm really struggling at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a real shame. I hope that we can help you feel a little bit more you. Cara, hello Cara, lovely to see you. Let's have a look. There was one from, okay, if I'm not reading out your comment, I apologise. Let me answer some questions. Because I think that's really important, rather than me talking about my woes and whether I should use my son's room or not. All right, so thank you for joining us. I'm Sarah, I'm a therapist, and I'm going to answer this first question from Alice. So Alice says, I've got autism and going on holiday and really, really nervous and anxious about eating out. So I think that's totally understandable. Because a lot of people feel a bit anxious about eating out, and for lots of reasons, and your reasons will be completely unique to you, and that's okay. Sometimes it can be about feeling judged, feeling embarrassed, it being quite a personal thing, eating. It could be that you're thinking, I'm not sure what I want to eat. And it's all sorts of different things. And I think, I'm sorry about that, Alice. I'm just Izzy. Hello, thank you for joining us. And I think that it's okay, and you don't have to be perhaps going out eating out every day in different places. I think that perhaps the first time you go out to eat might be a bit tricky, and so maybe you could have something before you go out so you're not absolutely starving. Maybe you can have a look at the menu of the place that you're going to so that you can think before you go about what you're going to eat, and so that you have a little bit more control, and be curious about what's going on for you. What is it that's making you anxious? Is it people seeing you eat? Is it being judged? Is it just being in a place that's new for you? and look at that and think, okay, what is going on there? Because by the end of the holiday, you might go to the same place every time to eat. And by the end of the holiday, it will be familiar and you'll be used to what's on the menu, and so it will be easier for you. So there are ways on my page that can help you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more relaxed. One of the pinned posts that I do is a tapping post. It's a bit long, it's 10 minutes long, but that can be really helpful, and it's quite vague, so you could listen to it and that might be able to help you through, and you could start to do it for yourself. So that could be helpful for you. And I would say talk to your family, talk to the people or the person that you trust most in your family, and say to them, I feel anxious about eating out. And I'm sure that they will understand, they're your family, and they will understand that this is something that is very normal and natural for you to be feeling. And so you can work out, okay, how can we help with this? Would it be helpful if we maybe took some snacks and things so that you could have in your room? Or is it self-catering? Can you do some of your cooking and eating in the place that you're staying? So I would say don't struggle with this alone. Chat to your family about it and they will help you through. And maybe you can look at this as this is a life skill that you are learning, so that next year when you go on holiday it will be much better, and then the year after that it will be much better again. So I really hope that that's helpful, and do look at some of the techniques on my page on the grid that are helpful to help you just calm yourself and be present in the moment. So I hope that that's all right and that helps a little bit. Thank you everyone for joining us here today. I'm Sarah and I don't know why I'm laughing, but I'm a QCH therapist, which is Quest Cognitive Therapy, and I work mostly with people who have anxiety, and I'm joined by the lovely Lynn 250, Vicky Hodson, Jasmine and Julie Rees-Deaver. They're all my moderators, and they'll be in the comments reassuring people and helping us to be a really friendly, kind community, which is what we want and what we've created over the last couple of years. So let me see, I know lots of comments have come through, and so I'm just going to try and catch up with some of them. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, I didn't see. Let's have a little look about that. Oh, Layla says, I don't have anxiety, but I find your live so relaxing and love your advice. Oh, thank you. That's really nice. Thank you. I'm glad that you sort of feel that way. Afsana. Oh, is that Afsana from last week? If it is, welcome back. If you're a new Afsana, then it's lovely to have you here. But I try not to, but I already worry about my weight and have body dysmorphia. Okay. Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it, when you have that? I think I've come in the middle of a conversation here, so maybe I'm just gonna if there's unless I see a specific question, I'll leave you and Lynn to chat about that, because Lynn is lovely and very helpful. Okay, let's see. So Flo says, I know when I'm getting ill again, I start to become scared of swallowing food and hate the feeling. Okay, that's hard, isn't it? And so when you know that you're becoming ill again, it's definitely worth talking to someone, and whether that's someone, a friend or family member that you trust, or going to a doctor, definitely nip it in the bud, because if you know the beginning parts of not being very well, then the earlier you take action and do something about it, that more quickly you can be back to your normal self again. So I hope that helps a little bit. So Tara, I'm so sorry that you're going through grief at the moment. So Tara asked a question, how do you manage the grief of losing a parent that you never met? So I don't know the specific circumstances around this, Tara, but I really feel for you, because just because you've never met someone doesn't mean that you don't feel grief at losing them. I mean, I remember, we have a sort of societal grief over things sometimes. If you look at what happened when, for some people, when the Queen died, when Princess Diana died, when JFK died, when Martin Luther King was assassinated and died, we feel grief because people have made an impact on our lives. And just because we haven't met them doesn't mean that we don't feel their loss. So I think the first thing is to realise that your grief is absolutely valid, and to be kind to yourself. If you have a look, so on my profile page, on the profile bit, there's a Linktree link. And if you go through there, there's lots and lots of free resources, but there's a thing called My Quest Hub. And if you look there, there's an article. If you look on the search bar there, if you put in bereavement and grief, there's a really fantastic article by my friend Jane Cowan, and she is a grief counsellor, and she wrote a fantastic article with lots and lots of free resources within it, all about bereavement and grief. So I would go and have a look at that. And if there's anyone else on here who is going through grief, who's lost someone, if you've lost an animal, if there's just something that's happened in your life that you're grieving, the loss of a relationship, for example, then do please go and read that, because My Quest Hub is full of all sorts of amazing free resources. But that article on bereavement, loss, grief is very, very helpful. And it has links to all sorts of articles, apps, websites, books, all of that kind of thing. So hopefully that will be helpful for you. I think don't expect very much of yourself at the moment. Be kind to yourself. Speak to yourself kindly. Reassure yourself that it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling. So I hope that helps a little bit, and I feel for you. This feeling will pass, but there is no time limit on grief. It's one of those things that's very unique to ourselves, and it will pop up again. In maybe 10, 20 years time, there might be days and moments where you still feel the loss of someone that you loved, or that you've felt the loss of, and that's okay. It's completely normal. So I hope that helps a little bit, Tara. Let me have a little look at some of these comments. Let's see. So Mia Wood, this is a lovely question. Tips on how to figure out what you want from your life. That's such a good question, Mia, because so many of us, I'm just going to write this down so I don't forget. I've just got such a terrible memory, and there'll be so tips on how to work out what you want from life. Okay, so that is a really excellent question. So I've made a note of it. I'm going to come and answer it. But thank you for asking it. I'm going to have a look through here. Okay. So Kat says, I'm currently feeling lightheaded and dizzy constantly, and I don't know why I suffer with health anxiety. First thing to do, Kat, is go and see your doctor. If you've got any physical symptoms, or any symptoms that are new that you're just thinking, whoa, where's this come from? Go and see your doctor and get them to do bloods, get them to examine you, because it can be so many different things. I could easily say, oh, that might be anxiety, and it may well be, but it could be other things as well, things that are very easily fixed. So that's the first thing to do. Anxiety can make you feel lightheaded. It can be connected to your breath. It can be connected to the way that your heart rate can change when we're anxious and we go into fight, flight or freeze. But the first port of call always is to speak with your doctor. So I would say that's your first thing. And if you've already done that, then have a little look at my page. There are categories that you can see particularly well on your phone. Definitely calming techniques, and also information about anxiety and how it can make you feel, and also breath techniques. So have have a little look at that. And you know, if you're suffering from health anxiety, I always think health anxiety is a really tricky one, because well, it just traps you in a real closed loop. So I would say it's definitely worth looking at speaking to someone, a therapist of your choosing, and see if they can help you reframe where this has come from. So I hope that helps a little bit. Wendy, hello, it's so lovely to see you. Wendy says, hi Sarah, I've spent time in hospital but now anxious being homeless and alone. I know, Wendy, I know that you've been in hospital and it's been such a tough time for you. And I'm really hoping that you can keep just taking small steps forward, being kind to yourself, and getting the support from the services around you to help you find somewhere to live, and to get to the place where I know that you can be, that place where you feel confident and contented within yourself. And I know it's really hard, and people do say, don't they, just keep going, keep going. And sometimes that can feel really, really impossible. But if you can survive this moment and then get to the next moment and then keep going through that moment, be kind to yourself and see if you can do the things that you love. I've seen on your TikToks how you love dancing, you love singing, and maybe that's not for every day. Maybe there's days when you think, no, I can't be doing that. I just haven't got the energy. But I know that there are so many people that really appreciate you and your struggle and your journey through your life. So please keep going, Wendy. And I do feel for you, but this will end. You will get to a place where you can look back and go, oh wow, that was so hard. But your journey and your story is helping so many people. So I hope you're okay. I'm thinking of you. So, sending you the biggest hug. Let's have a little look. Oh gosh, is that Sai? Hello, it's very nice to see you. We're all very well, I hope. Some of us are tired and some of us are going through tricky times, but we're all here, aren't we? So it's really nice to see you. I hope you're all right. So Wendy, you're in a guest house, which I know it's probably not the most easy of places to be, but I'm glad that you have a roof over your head. I think, you know, when you simplify, when you look and you go, I have a roof over my head, I can be warm, and I have food in my belly. And some days that's the thing that matters the most. So I'm glad that you've got somewhere that you can, I hope that you feel safe there. Let's have a look. Ishan says, do you have paid resources? So no, I don't. Everything that I give is for free. Obviously my job is as a therapist, and that's how I earn my living, is that I see clients from all over the world, mostly online. I see people via Zoom, but the resources that I have through my link is all free. So you're very welcome to go and have a look at any of those. Sometimes it takes me a little while because I get like the resources of my word weaves that I write, which are recordings on MP3, which I've got 3 which are available for anyone to listen to, really. I email those individually to people. So sometimes if I'm out and about or I'm away for a few days, then you might not get it, but that's explained on my website. But no, I don't have paid resources. And Ruby was saying, where is the article? And you don't need to apologize, that's okay. So all the resources, if you click on my profile picture at any point, if you follow me and then you take your time and look at on my profile, there's, you know, when it gives you a bio, there's like a little link with a link tree, and you click on that and there's a whole list of like my website, my YouTube, my Instagram. There's the Quest Institute, there's My Quest Hub, and My Quest Hub, there's lots and lots of free resources, not just from me, but there's a professional practitioners association called the QCHPA, which is where people who have the same training as me, we are constantly uploading resources which are all free that we want the public to be able to access. So we're very much community minded. We want to give back to the world, which might sound cheesy, but it's true. So let's have a little look through. Let's have a look here. Thank you to Lynn and to Vicky and Jasmine, and Julie as well, who are answering questions that are sort of housekeeping questions. That's great. Let's have a look. Oh, Julie says, I'm still grieving over the loss of my dog. Oh, bless you. I really, I feel for you. It's so hard, isn't it? Because our pets are like our family members. I don't personally have any animals. I'm not a massive animal person, but I do remember, I remember when I was little, when I was, I don't know how old I was, maybe 12 or 13. And I used to go riding every week, and there was this pony, and I just loved him so much. And I had waited to be able to ride him because he was a little bit flighty, and eventually I was able to ride him, and I used to ride him for a really long time. And I came to the stables one week and they just sold him, and I was devastated. It was awful. I absolutely sobbed like a baby because I didn't know where he was, and he just was gone forever. So I can understand, to a certain extent how that feels, and it's totally valid. So I'm sorry that you still have that grief. I suppose it's a reflection of how much you loved your dog, and so that's okay. Let's have a look. There's a good question here. Some from user as a number. How do you help with anxiety on tests? Okay, that's a really good question. Right, let me answer some stuff. Let me answer some questions here. Afsana, yeah, you do come back. It's lovely to see you. Really, really nice to have you here. Okay. So, and I can see, Ali, you said something about please be kind. Absolutely. This is a space where we are kind people, and we all know what kindness looks like. So, that's why I have moderators, to keep this a safe and kind space. And so we have zero tolerance. If people are unkind, then we'll mute them initially, and then if they insist on coming back, then they will be blocked. Occasionally we make mistakes, so if that ever happens to you, message us, because TikTok is very fast moving and sensitive. So but we want this to be a safe space. So Julie Rees-Tever, this is great. So Julie's one of my moderators, and she's in California, and she says, for comfort with pet loss, there's a wonderful book called Big Cat, Little Cat by Elisha Cooper. Thank you so much, Julie. That's amazing. Brilliant. So I'm going to write that down. Big Cat, Little Cat. I love finding out new resources. Great. Okay, thank you for that. All right, let me answer another question. And thank you again. Thank you for the likes, for sending it to other people, and for following and all that kind of thing. Very, very grateful. So Sarah said, how do you deal with jealousy when your partner talks to other women? Now, I work quite a lot with people who have jealousy, whose relationships are tricky because they're very, very jealous about, their partner talking to other people and so on. And often with that kind of behavior is what we call a therapeutic paradox, because what you want is for your partner to be with you and to love you forever, or for as long as it takes, and for you to be happy together. And you're so desperate to have that. I'm not saying you're desperate, but we generally as people, we so desire this particular thing, to have our partner love us and be with us and not want anyone else, and be faithful, that we go into protection, and we desperately try to cling on to them, and we try and control everything. And by being that person, by being that controlling person, saying, who's that? Who are you phoning? Who's you texting? I want to look at your phone. Where are you going? Who are you with? All of that kind of stuff. We become the person that they don't want to be with. And so we push them away by the behavior that we mean, we're hoping this behavior is going to draw them closer to us and we're going to keep them close to us, but actually, paradoxically, we are pushing them away. So what can we do about that? It's one of those things where we have to trust. We have to have faith in the people around us, and we have to have faith in us that we are good enough. And not all of us feel that way, but it's about working on that. So they are who they are. We have no control over the people around us. We can influence them, but actually we're better influencing them with kindness than we are by trying to control them. So I think the thing is to realize that if you are a really lovely, kind person, you trust them, you are, you both have your separate lives, and then you come together and you're really happy. So your partner is off doing what they want to do, and you're creating your life, having fun, doing the stuff that you want to do. Then when you come together, you really have a great time together. So it's about that. It's hard, and sometimes therapy can help with that. As I say, I've worked with quite a lot of people who have had jealousy in their lives. But it really, what's that about? It's about your relationship with yourself, really, more than your relationship with your partner. Now, of course, if your partner is off talking to other women and talking in a way that is actually, they're being unfaithful, and that is not the rules of your relationship, then there's some boundaries that need to be drawn up there. And there's that question of, is this actually the right person for me? Because, for me, if my husband, we know what our rules are. There's no chance. Like, I know that he's got, like, his old boss is a woman, and I absolutely love her, and he will go out and go and have lunch with her, and I know that it's the last thing in the world that's ever going to happen, that he is going to go off and have an affair with her, because it's just, she's not like that, he's not like that. I know that. I totally trust him. However, if something began to happen and it wasn't, I would be, no, this is a line I draw. So yeah, I think it's very individual, and it depends on what he's actually doing. If you're just afraid that he's doing a thing and you're mind reading and imagining, well, you're going to feel all the stuff inside you that you would be feeling if it was happening for real, because our brains don't know the difference between an imagined future, the thing that you're worrying about, and the present reality. So we need to make our present reality really as calm and as boundaried and as content as we possibly can. And it's about learning how to trust. Because if you're that person, like my husband, I remember my father-in-law used to say to me, Sarah, you let him go and play golf all the time. You're amazing. I'm like, I don't let him do anything. I don't care if he wants to go and play golf. It means I can do what I want to do. He's happy if he's playing golf. I love it. I love that he's happy in playing golf. And he's happy that I'm off doing therapy stuff. So, it's about having a partnership, isn't it? Though you're both equal. Okay. So I hope that really helps you, Sarah. If you need help with techniques like calming techniques, have a look at my page, and I hope that that's all right. I hope that they help you. Oh gosh, let's have a little look here. Lots and lots of comments. So Julie's saying my dog brought and helped me through the lockdown with my mental health. Amazing. Yeah, and that's really hard when your pet has been that helpful to you. It's really difficult, isn't it? I feel for you, I really do. Let's have a look here. So Savannah's saying a lot of my dreams recently have been with my ex. Every time I have a dream, he's there randomly. Dreams are just the place we sort things out, aren't they? They feel really real. But actually, it's probably a good thing that you're working your way through that. just Tara, I can see the conversation that you're having with Lynn, and I'm really sorry that you're going through what you're going through, but keep going. And it's really important to talk about these things, but to talk about them in a way that is helping you to move forward and helping you to reframe. So yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. And as Lynn says, don't avoid talking to people, because you're not a burden at all. If anyone, if any of us on here are going through really difficult times and we need to talk about it to the people around us, friends, family, doctors, therapists, if that other person makes you feel like a burden, then that's not the right person to be talking to, because actually it's about listening well, isn't it? When we're the people who are the supportive people, we need to listen actively. We don't want someone who's, they're talking to us and we're on our phone going, yeah. That's not the way to listen. We need to be there fully in body and mind, listening to people. And if people don't do that for you, Tara, then, have a look at who else you have in your life. But you won't be a burden just because you feel like you are. I'm sure that the people around you would not say that you were a burden. So Afsana says, how do you try to have a positive mindset when you're around your parent who's always anxious and saying how miserable life is? That is such a good question, Afsana. So I'm looking at the time. I'm aware I've talked like a talky person today, so I need to I'll make a note of that. Let's see how to keep positive mindset around negative people. Okay, so let me just really crack on and answer. So Mia Wood, your question first. I'm sorry if I made you wait this long. Mia says, tips on how to work out what you want from life. Wow, well, that's a big question. How do we know? How do we know what we want from life? That is a question that I'm not sure I even have the answer for, because I think that life is a journey and it's constantly changing. For me, it's just about being curious. For me personally, in my life, stuff has just turned up. I remember when I was like in my early teens, I was so interested in people and people's minds, and I was thinking I really want to be a psychiatrist, because that's the only person who was a sort of mind doctor that I knew about. And then I realized that you had to be a doctor before you could be a psychiatrist, and I thought, well, that's never going to happen because I'm rubbish at sciences. So that dream went out of the window for me, and I did lots of other things in my life. And then I realised, blimey, to train as a hypnotherapist, you actually don't need to be a doctor. So you know, for example, the Quest Institute, where I am the training manager, and we train people to become therapists, we see that it's really important that people have life experience. So we have all sorts of people from, whether they might have a degree in psychology, they might be a doctor, or they might be someone who's been a stay-at-home mum for the last 10 years, or they might be a builder, or they might be someone who's worked in a shop, or a teacher. It could be anyone at all. And so it's amazing how, when you're curious about life, stuff turns up and you think, oh, that looks like an interesting road, I'm going to go down that road. So I would say keep your eyes open, keep all your senses open, because it's hard to know. I didn't know, like I trained to do this when I was in my 50s, right? So around about 50, I thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm 59 now, and I'm in a place where this is absolutely what I was meant to do in my life. I absolutely love it. But I didn't know that until I was in my 50s. I've done lots of other things in my life that I've enjoyed, but it's so I would say, Mia, keep looking, keep being curious, and keep trying things. If they don't work out, don't worry, you'll have learnt from them. I've learnt lots from jobs that I've done in the past that I hated. And yet here I am doing something that I love, and I'm better at it because of the stuff that I've experienced in my life. So that's my answer to your question. I hope that that's helpful. Let's have a look. So the next one was, so someone asked a question, and it was user and a big long number, said, and how to cope with anxiety in tests. And quickly before I answer that, Anna Maria, hello. Hello, I'm a bit late. It was my dad's birthday, but we haven't talked in a while because he was bad with me in my childhood. Am I a bad kid? Oh, bless you. No, you're not a bad kid. No. Oh, and don't worry about being late. Anna Maria, you are amazing. So please don't think that. There are no such thing as bad kids. You know, quite often we are in protective behaviour, and if an adult makes our life difficult, then we're going to behave in a way that is meant to protect us, but that can be seen by the world as tricky behaviour. That's okay. You're just been looking after yourself. So I hope you're all right. I hope you're having a good day. So I was going to say about anxiety in tests. So it's very normal to feel anxious when you're doing a test or an exam, because it means something, doesn't it? It means that, you know, maybe you're going to be able to go on to the next stage of your education, or you'll be put in a certain set, or you can start to drive a car, for example. So there's lots of meaning around tests. And so I would say it's very normal to feel a certain level of adrenaline, because there's that sense of, oh, this really matters. And you're trying to protect yourself from failure. But if you can reframe it and look at, okay, this is just information for me. I'm doing this test, and either it will give me the information that I've done all the study I need to do, and I know what I'm supposed to know so that I can move on to the next stage of my learning, or it's going to tell me I don't quite know what I need to know yet. And so I need to learn more. So it's just about information. It's not that you are a failure, you're a success at all. It's a fluid thing. So how can you help yourself to feel a bit calmer for tests? Because obviously if you're calmer, then you're going to be able to access your cognitive function a lot better, rather than being driven by emotions. You're going to be much clearer in your mind, because when we're in protective behavior, what happens is that our working memory, our speech and language centers tend to shut down a little bit, so we can't access that clarity of mind that we need for tests. So if we can do some of the techniques that I share on my page, the 3-pin posts are really good and really helpful with this. So there's tapping, I think there's spinning was one, and then there's this one, which I actually posted, it might have been earlier today or yesterday. They can be really helpful just to physiologically show your nervous system all is well, and just bring the anxiety down to a bit of a lower level. If you can do that generally during your life, but definitely leading up to tests, and that can be really helpful. So I hope that helps a little bit. And Afsana, so I think Afsana, this is probably going to be the last question that I answer here, because I'm running out of time. It's nearly 1 o'clock. We've been doing this for nearly an hour, but I will stay around just to sort of say cheerio to everyone. Afsana says, how do you keep a positive mindset when you're with people who are really negative? It's really hard, isn't it? I mean, I was working for a while with a woman. She was like a dementor. Do you know from the Harry Potter films? They're like those wreath-like, ghost-like creatures that suck all the joy out of a room. Well, she was like that. And when I think of her, I still think, there's not many people I don't like, but I loathed that woman, and she was a real bully to me, but that's another story. So I'm not saying, I don't mean to be rude about your parents, Afsana, but, you know, there are people like that, and the reason they're like that is because they're fellow strugglers. They've been through their life, and they're wearing history-coloured lenses. You know, they're seeing their current life through all of the experiences that they've had, and they just think that that's normal, that our normal travels with us. And maybe for your parents, that's just who they are at the moment. That's their behavior at the moment. And you don't have to be like that. You can start to have a different mindset. There's some really interesting books about mindset. There's a lovely one called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And that's full of all sorts of really nice anecdotes of people who've been through really, really hard times. You know, people like Abraham Lincoln, Oprah Winfrey, loads and loads of people who you look at and you think, oh, well, they must have just been born with a silver spoon. They must have had it really lucky. And actually you realise that no, many successful people have had really, really hard times in their lives. And the thing that's made them successful is not that life's been easy, but they've somehow found a way to be able to learn from their things that have happened to them, to use the obstacle that they face as a stepping stone to help them move forward. So that can be really helpful. So The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. There's also a lovely book which I absolutely love called I May Be Wrong. And that is by Bjorn Nathiko Lindeblad. So it's a bit of a mouthful. I don't know if any... Oh, look. Lynn is amazing. So Lynn is pinning a post. So The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And then the other one is I May Be Wrong by Bjorn Nathiko Lindeblad. And I know I'm testing your spelling here, Lynn. So I'm sorry about that. But if you look on my page, both of those have been, I've done a series of posts about books on my, I think this is particularly on my Instagram. So if you have a look on my Instagram, and the link to that is through my profile, again, there's the link tree. And if you have a look at my grid, Lynn said the name of the second book is I May Be Wrong by Bjorn Someone. Yes, maybe the more simple thing to do is to go on my Instagram, which you can find through my link on my profile page, and there's a whole load of posts about books. There's ones where I pick a book out of my bookcase. So it's Bjorn Nathiko Lindeblad. But thank you. If you look up I May Be Wrong by Bjorn, I'm sure it'll come up on Google. You'll be fine. But I hope that helps, Afsana, because it's horrible when you're surrounded by negative people. Because, you know, if you think of our nervous systems, we're like nervous systems on legs. So this is our spaghetti nervous system. And we're looking around to be able to regulate with people who are feeling good and feeling safe. And we can go, oh yeah, I like you. We can regulate together and we can feel good together, which is hopefully what we're doing on this live. We're all co-regulating with one another. But if you're going along looking for someone and they're the person that's like this, it's like, I'm miserable, life is miserable, it's all terrible, and you're trying to regulate with them, and you're just bouncing off them, and sometimes they can be like, yeah, I'm just going to overwhelm you with my negativity, and that's a horrible feeling. So it's difficult when they're your parents, and it's difficult. I know if you were Afsana from last week, and I know that there's sort of communication is not always the easiest thing for you. So it's about beginning to look at the people around you and go, okay, where are my positive people? Where are my tribe? How can I begin to connect with you? So I hope that helps. But this will not be forever, okay? There will be, as time goes on, lots of people in your life that you meet that are your tribe, that are your people, that you can be positive with. So I hope that helps a little bit. So let's have a little look. Thank you so much to all of you for being here. So Lynn says, I tried. Nathiko Lindeblad, yeah, don't worry about it, Lynn, you've done a great job. And I really appreciate you. And as Elizabeth says, so Elizabeth Malmros, hello Elizabeth, you're back from your laundry. Bjorn Nathiko Lindeblad is Swedish, or was Swedish, sadly he's passed away now. And Elizabeth is also from Sweden, so she's agreeing it is a hard name to spell. The Nathiko bit is actually his Buddhist name, so it's Bjorn Lindeblad. Anyway, it was a good try, you're right. Oh, Tooth Fairy, you're struggling today. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay. I am sending you a big hug. I hope you've been here to see some of this and it's been helped you feel a little bit better. Wendy, pleasure. Really glad that you joined us, and it's so nice to see you, and so nice to have you join our live. I'm sending my love to all of you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so sorry that Hazel wasn't here. It was my big plan. What are your thoughts if I was to do lives on Instagram? How would that feel for you? Because that would mean that I could talk to so many more people. Like, I could have conversations with people, you know, friends of mine who are other therapists, or, you know, maybe some of you, if you fancied it, to do like interviews. What are your thoughts about that? oh, good. So Vicky's saying yes. Mia is saying Instagram would be good. Oh, hello, Farm Girl. Nice to see you. IG would be great. That's good. Lynn would love that. Heather, oh, this is good. Yes to Instagram. So that's really cool. Elizabeth, bless you. Take care. I hope you have a good week. Look after yourself, won't you? Izzy says yes, please. Plus you can save IG lives. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. So these ones I save, I'm allowed to, like, I put them on my YouTube so you can watch them. But yeah, whatever makes life easier for you. Heather says can't beat the gram. And Dice Man says, can you do both? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to stop doing the lives on TikTok because I've got so many more followers on TikTok, you know, whereas on Instagram I've got a few, but I haven't got that many. So yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? So how would that work? Would it be helpful if I like announced it and I said so you'd know when it was going to be? Angel Kate said it's going to confuse you. You're not good at technology. Okay. Oh, I'll try not to confuse you. Yeah, just stick to TikTok. That's all right. You'll be all right. But if I do both, then hopefully if I announce it on here, let me think about it, because I've done the odd Instagram live and just sort of, you know, spontaneously started chatting. But I think it would be nice to chat to people. What sort of people would you like me to chat with? What would be interesting for you? Oh, Dice Man, thank you. I'm glad you like listening. That's great. Julie says yes to announcing it. Whatever's easiest for me. Oh, Izzy, you are lovely. Thank you. Let's have a look. So you like, and oh, I can't see that. Not pavlova ice cream. Wish to have a therapist. Is that for the lives on Instagram? That would be quite good, wouldn't it? Because I've got loads of people who are really great, who haven't got, or maybe not even on TikTok, but they're so interesting and such nice people, and I'd love to chat with them. Would that be helpful for everyone? I hope so. Oh, well, that's exciting, isn't it? That's something to look into. What sort of day would suit you best? When do you think? What days, what times would suit you best to have Instagram lives? Just waiting to have a look, see if anyone has got any preferences. Doesn't matter if you haven't got any preferences. I'll just think of something. It would tend to be Monday or Friday, because in the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm seeing clients, and so I'm like mad busy. Let's have a look. An evening for Lynn, Wednesday or Friday for Vicky. Okay, that's cool. Elizabeth says everyone is okay with me. Thursday, 1 o'clock in Sweden. Okay. Serenity Grace, hello. Very nice to see you. I'm just talking about, oh, Wendy's saying that sounds a great idea, Sarah. Monday for you, Wendy. Okay. Or H, I'm sorry you're feeling anxious. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to think about that, but I'm going to draw things to a close. But I'll have to think about what I'm going to do, and I'll see if I can find out who would like to come and chat with me. So yeah, well, thank you ever so much for being here, everyone. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day and a really nice weekend. Take care of yourselves, won't you? And if it's been a difficult week, I hope that things start to get easier for you. Look after yourselves, be kind to yourselves. Thank you so much to my lovely moderators. I so appreciate you being here. You're amazing. Lynn 250, you passed the spelling test. You've been amazing today. Vicky Hodson, I hope that you're all right. Thank you so much for being here. Julie Rees Diva, thank you for your suggestions of the books to do with grief of loss of a pet. Thank you for your help. And Jasmine, thank you, my lovely. I'm not even sure. Jasmine, are you here? I think you are. I'm not sure if you are, but I don't want to not say thank you if you're not. I think perhaps you're working. I know you're massively busy at the moment. So I understand. I totally understand. But anyway, take care. Thank you all. And I will see you next Friday. Definitely next Friday at 12 o'clock. We're going to do another TikTok live, and watch out to see if we're doing an Insta one as well. All right, lovely. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Lynn, gold star for trying. That's all you can do, isn't it? We all live and learn. Okay. Oh, have a beautiful weekend, everyone. You have a beautiful weekend, Elizabeth. And I'll let you know what happens with my son, whether I get in big trouble for using his bedroom. I hope not. If you never see me again, you'll know what's happened, won't you? Anyway, listen, take care, and thank you for everything, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.